Okay, so now we're up to the third and final part of this series in creating this video. Okay, so I'm not crash hot with the lower third. I think it could be further down. I think we could change the color a bit of the rectangle there. So instead of editing each one, since it's now all separate, that's a real hassle. You can just right-click one of those blocks and choose Edit in Photoshop. That will bring the original file back into Photoshop. And I'm going to click on this rectangle at the bottom here, make sure that's selected, go into my properties, and I'm going to choose, I'm going to change that color to something a bit different like that. And I might even go to my opacity settings and just bump that down a bit so it's a lot lighter and not as visible. So I'm going to do that, and then I also want to move the whole thing down. So I'm going to make sure I move all the layers down, not just the one that I'm selecting. So let's just click on the top and then shift click on the bottom, use my move tool there, and I'm going to move it all the way down like that. Okay, good. And now I'm just going to save it, File, Save, and when I jump back into Premiere, you see it automatically updates. There's the opacity change, there's the color change, and obviously it's all moved as well. Okay, so that looks good. All right. Next thing, we'll do some transitions between the clips here, and we'll just do some basic ones. I'm going to do just a basic cross dissolve here. So over here in my effects tab under video transitions and dissolve, cross dissolve is there. So I'll click that and drag that in the middle there. And it says insufficient media. Basically, it's telling me, look, your clips are too short. It's going to have to repeat some frames. In this case, I don't mind. So I'm just going to press OK. And I'm just going to keep doing that for all of them, just for a basic cross dissolve. Okay, good, done that. Okay, so next, what I want to do is I want to package this all into a new sequence and then add my titles and music. So if I go back to my project folder here, my project tab, sorry, and double click on the clips, you'll see at the end, over here, sequence 1, this is what I've called it, this is the actual sequence that you see there. I'm going to right click on that one, and I'm going to choose New Sequence from Clip. That creates a new sequence here. I'm just going to change that name to say sequence 2 so we don't get too confused, and then I'll close that out. So here's my sequence 2 like it says, and it's one big green block with a blank audio track because there's no audio in this. So let's just alt click that and delete it. Okay, so going back to sequence 1, this is everything in sequence 1, and if I change something, like if I change one of these effects, it would automatically update into this. But I just find that when I'm adding bits at the beginning and the end, it's just easy to package up the whole movie into one block. So I'm just going to move that ahead about 5 seconds or so. And the first thing I want to do is to create a title. So I'm going to go to File, New, Title. And we'll call this title 1 actually. Title 4 doesn't really make sense. Okay, and I'm going to use my type tool, and I'm going to write shots on film because that is the name. Shots on film, that is the name of my project. And I am going to use one of my title styles here. So I'll just use my arrow tool to make sure that that's all selected and go down and find something that I like, maybe this, okay, and maybe make it bigger, like that, even maybe rotate it a little, angle it a bit, and put it over here. Okay, so that looks good, and I'll close that out. Where's it gone? I don't see it. I'm sure it's in my clips folder here. Let's have a look. Yep, there it is. Let's drag that over here. I don't want it in my clips folder. Take that away. Okay, so I'm going to drag that into my V2, my video 2 track. There it is. And now I'm going to do another title, and I'll do it another way this time. I'm going to right click and choose New Item, Title. Call this Title 2. Okay. And in this case, I'm going to use my type tool, go down here, and I'm going to write by Mr. Aarons. I'm going to keep that font, but I will change the color. So I've selected my arrow tool there, and I'll change the color to something orangey, I think. Something like that. Yep. There we go. Just move that into the position I want it to be in. Close that out, and bring that into the top. And this one I'm going to make shorter. Because basically what I want is as the video plays, that will come up and then this will come up. Okay? So, of course, I could design this better, but I'm just showing you that technique of having one coming on top of the other, and then, of course, my movie goes on. Okay? All right, we're going to do one final title, and we'll do it a different way by pressing Control T. This is title 3. Change it to title 3. Press OK. And I'm going to do a rolling credit. Okay? I'm going to click on my type tool, click up here, make sure it's centered, and I'm going to write starring. So these are the people that were on camera. And I won't use the boys' real names, so I'll just write Mickey and Donald. Leave a space. I'll do filmed by Mr. Aarons, that's me, Mickey, Donald, leave a space, and then edited by, that was just me, Mr. Aarons. And I know it goes off the screen like that. That's okay, it doesn't matter because of what we're going to do next. I'm going to click on the arrow tool and make sure that's nicely centered like that. And then click on this roll crawl option because I want this to be a rolling credit. So checking the option that's roll, starting off screen, ending off screen, press OK. And I'm going to change the color again. I'll click on that and change the color for this one, in this case to red. So a nice deep red like that. Okay. I'll close that. I'll drag that to my V2 track over here from the end of my project. And let's see if it works. Very nice. Now you can see it's on a transparent background there with a grid, but when you render it, it will be black. So that's beautiful. That's exactly what I want. Okay, so the last step is to choose my audio. And I've already got this chosen out. So I'm going to click open my browser to show you. I've gone into the YouTube audio library like I like to do. And I've chosen this one from the Jazz and Blues Funky section, which is called Hot Salsa. And I've already pressed the download button. It's downloaded. So let's go back to Premiere. Okay, so there it is. And now I'm just going to drag that into the end like that. That looks good. Obviously I have to trim that, so I'm going to stretch this out so I can see the whole thing. Trim it so it meets the title there. Now just zoom it back out so I can see the whole thing. Alright, that looks good to me. Let's see how it looks. Actually, I am going to stop it because I think it does need that kind of, because it's transparent, it's hard to see. So what I'm going to do actually is I'm going to go to right click over here, new item, and choose black video and press OK. That just gives me a basic black video. I'm going to put that underneath. So I'm going to put this over here like that, and then I'm going to put this over here like that, and that'll make it much easier for me to see my titles. Okay, let's play it now. Okay, and I think the last thing is we need to fade that out. So I'll go to Effects, I'll look up the effect Fade, and I'll go down to here to the Crossfade Constant Power, put that in like that, and that'll do. Okay, there we go. And then all that's left is to render that, which I have shown you how to do. It's Control M to bring up the export dialog box. I'm going to keep it where it's going to save it as. I'll call it sequence 2, I don't care. But I will click on here and change the preset to YouTube 1080p. I find that's the best one to use for the students, even though it's a hassle to find. There we go. Press export. I'm not going to do it, but you press export, it'll save it as a video file when it's done. Okay, so those were 3 pretty lengthy videos, and I've done those over 3 lessons with the kids, different aspects of putting together those clips that we shot outside into a fully fledged little film. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed it, I hope you learnt something, and let me know in the comments if this is something that you can use in your classroom. And I'll see you later. Thank you.